We're ready whenever you are.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for attending tonight's city council meeting. For those who are attending remotely, the camera in council chambers is set up to show those attending in person tonight. The platform we are using has a raise hand feature. You will notice a picture of a hand in the upper right-hand corner. When we reach the point in the meeting where the public has the opportunity to address council, you can click that button to be given your opportunity to address council. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kathy, please call the roll.
Mayor Tully,
Here.
Counselor Silly,
Here.
Counselor Powers,
Here.
Counselor Scamperly,
Here.
Counselor Stevenson, Counselor Chivo,
Here.
Counselor Trim, quorum present.
Councilor Trim is traveling. She was hoping to be home in time for tonight's meeting, but unfortunately she just landed in Syracuse, so she has asked to be excused with council's permission.
Yes.
Thank you. Also a reminder tonight for those of us on the dais to be conscious about speaking into the microphone so people viewing remotely can understand the conversation, the dialogue among us, okay? We have 3 presentations tonight, and the first will be from economic developer Tyler Park.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Everybody hear me okay? Good? Okay. Well. Okay, so good evening, council, colleagues, and members of the audience. At the previous council meeting, I briefed council and the community on the efforts that my office has taken to promote economic development in the city of Ogdensburg. Tonight, I would like to focus on what I'm hoping will be one of the more lasting and impactful efforts. That is the formation of new partnerships. Next slide, please, Kathy. So just as a recap, as you can see on the screen, over the past several weeks, I've been going around to small businesses, introducing myself and seeing if there is anything that my office can do to assist them. While there are still some individuals that I have not met with, from the meetings that I've had thus far, I've gotten a pretty good idea of some of the things that our small business owners need help with. Next slide, please, Kathy. So after reflecting on a number of these conversations, it's come to my attention that many of Ogdensburg's small businesses are family owned. This means that many of our current business owners have either inherited their business or started out as an employee or a partner in that business. Now, from an operations standpoint, this is wonderful. Growing up in the business, learning all the ins and outs from mom and dad, having that hands-on experience, all of these things make our small business owners technical experts when it comes to running their business. Another upside of operating a multi-generational business is the head start that these type of business owners get. Since the business is inherited, multi-generational business owners are not forced to go through the initial stages of business formation. And this allows for a smooth transition from the previous owner and enables them to jump right into operations. However, like anything in life, things that prove to be advantageous in one respect can often be harmful in another. So inheriting a small business is no exception. You see, not going through the initial stages of business formation deprives the inherited owner of certain experiences that you can only get from starting a business. Things like business planning, building a brand, establishing market presence, securing financial packages, and leveraging economic incentives. This places them at a disadvantage when it comes to market competitiveness. And to make matters worse, not only do these individuals inherit the business without these experiences, they also inherit the debts, obligations, and limitations of the same. Things like back taxes, outstanding mortgages, dilapidating conditions, supply chain issues, etc. All things that they did not contribute to or otherwise have no control over. When we add the fact that these individuals must manage all of this while also being the primary employee of the business, what we get is a shortage of time, money, and resources. The question then becomes, how? How can our small business owners renovate, expand, and otherwise meet the needs of their businesses while operating under these conditions? Finding an answer to that question begins with bringing in some professional help. Next slide, please, Kevin. Now that the city has an economic developer, Ogdensburg business owners are no longer alone in navigating the complex world of business development. A simple phone call will give them access to a professional resource whose primary concern is helping them with their needs. This is a great first step. We must, however, keep in mind that volatile market conditions are causing a decline in the amount of business services that local governments have to offer, as well as an increase in the demand for professional help. Over time, this can severely impact service delivery, especially in a city like ours, where the number of existing businesses greatly outnumbers the amount of municipal business services available. In order to prevent a bottlenecking and better serve our business community, I started to look into resources that can augment the abilities of city staff. My main focus was to find a partner that can not only enhance the number of professional services that the city has to offer, but that can also offer certain specialized services that are beyond the purview of the Economic Development Department. My search led me to the Small Business Development Center. Next slide, please, Kathy. So why the SBDC? Since we do have a guest speaker from this organization here tonight, I will let him go into detail on the services that his organization has to offer. However, I will note that the SBDC has successfully partnered with the city in the past, is able to offer those specialized services that we discussed, has the capacity to augment the abilities of city staff, and is no stranger to our area. They also have a proven track record of success and a wealth of resources, which will be explained to you shortly. Next slide, please, Kevin. So before I conclude, I find it important to note some of the anticipated economic impacts of this partnership. Number one being the restoration of morale. I'd say that about 20 out of 25 business owners that I met with are at a point where they are just frustrated. Frustrated with how the city has done things in the past, frustrated by inflation, scarce resources, politics, lack of funding, you name it. They're just frustrated. But despite being frustrated, many of our small business owners continue to show a willingness to work with the city and their staff for the betterment of the community. And I'm hoping that by bringing on some more friendly and professional help, that we can push our small business owners into reviving that old project that they may have, or putting some serious thought into the future prosperity of their business. Now, there are also some additional benefits on top of morale, including improved odds of receiving incentives and funding. With more professionals comes a broader range of expertise, networks, and professional assistance, which can be utilized to leverage economic and business development incentives. The more, the merrier. Revitalization of blighted areas. An increase in morale and more access to incentives will inevitably lead to facade, storefront, and streetscapes improvements. This also applies to increased beautification and tourism, which will eventually lead to an increase in economic activity. Creation of business-savvy entrepreneurs. Small business owners who work with the members of this partnership will gain the experience needed to start, grow, and manage their businesses effectively, and have access to resources that would be difficult for a single owner to obtain on their own. And last but not least, increase local services and enhance local spending. The goal is to get local business owners into a position where sales are at their peak. This generates money not only for the business, but for the local economy in which most of us live. Final slide, please, Cap. So wrapping up, the signing of tonight's memorandum of understanding marks the start of a collaborative effort to support and strengthen local small businesses here in Ogdensburg. It establishes a network of shared resources between the city and the Small Business Development Center. It streamlines the availability of support services available to local small business owners, fosters a strong culture of entrepreneurship and innovation, reflects the city's commitment to taking a more proactive approach, and puts the E, which stands for economic development, in Ogdensburg's RISE principles. So thank you for listening. And whenever council is ready, I will welcome Dale Rice to the podium, who is the director of the North Country Small Business Development Center at SUNY Canton.
Thank you, Tyler. So before we invite Dale, is there any questions or initial questions or comments from council?
I'd just like to say thank you. It's nice to see this.
You're very
Can't
welcome.
wait to see his presentation as well.
Very well.
Okay, so our next presentation will be from Dale Rice of SBDC.
Thank you for having me. I've been with the SBDC since 1998 when the center opened. So I can't believe it's been that long. We've always had a presence in Ogdensburg, a lot of partnership with chamber, CPAs, bankers, worked with the city before and the economic developers in the past, but we've never had a formal kind of arrangement. So I'm excited to kind of see how much activity this drives, and I really look forward to continuing with that. Yep, this is sorry. So I'll just give you a little background on what the SBDC is. Forever we were known as the City Canton SBDC, but because we have such a large area now, we have 7 counties. We changed our name to the North Country SBDC. It's City Canton. So what we offer, the majority of the work that myself and my team does is just one-on-one business counseling. Everything's confidential, everything's free. And we're able to do that because we're state and federally funded. We also do some training. Sometimes we charge for training if we have to bring in experts or if there's an expense that we don't have the budget for. But for the most part, 90% of the work we do is just one-on-one business counseling. We do most of that at SUNY Canton. At our office, we have an office at Helford Hall, familiar with the old Crest Center. That's where we're at. We originally had an office in Plattsburgh. So at one point, there's 24 SBDCs. We kind of merged with Plattsburgh. There's 4 staff in Plattsburgh, 4 staff at City Canton. Things changed. So now we have 6 staff, which I'm excited because we only had 3 staff forever. But all 6 of my staff, myself, my 5 staff, are at City Canton. So we're all in St. Lawrence County. We cover pretty much St. Lawrence County over to Lake Champlain and then down the Northway to Warrensburg. So we have about 7 counties that we work with. We hired 3 new advisors over the winter, which is great. The people that are familiar with the SBDC, we had a pretty tight staff there for after COVID. So we're really excited that we have a lot more capacity and we're able to do things like this. We're able to get out in the community. The way that we're able to do this free of charge is we get funding from the state of New York and the federal government. So we're a totally separate organization. We're a not-for-profit organization that receives funding from the state and the federal government. Our state funds get administered through SUNY, and our federal funds come from the Small Business Administration. So a lot of times people get us confused, thinking we're part of the SBA. We're totally separate. We just rely on financially. And then locally, every one of the SBDCs are at some type of university. So in our case, we're at City Canton. So these are some of the services that we provide. The majority of kind of what we're known for is business plan development. We don't write the business plans for our clients. What we do is kind of help them through the process and provide them as much assistance as they need. We want to make sure at the end of the day, they take ownership in what the final product is. We do a lot just marketing, loan packaging. A big part of our referrals come from banks and economic developers. Someone has a project, an idea, and they're looking for funding, but they're not fully prepared yet, so they'll send us to kind of pull everything together. We do a lot with government procurement, marketing, pretty much any stage of the business, we're here to help. Wanted to tell you about some of our specialty programs. These are statewide programs that we're involved in, so all 20 centers. I should also mention that we're also networked nationally, so there's 20 in New York State, but every state in the union has an SBDC network. So we have a huge reach and a lot of resources we can tap into. We've been doing a lot with cybersecurity and AI. Clients are starting to use AI. It's a tough area to navigate. It's changing hourly. So we have a statewide task force. We have some experts throughout the state that we tap in to make sure that we're able to talk to our clients about that. There's a government procurement office in Utica that we work with quite a bit. So if somebody wants to sell to the federal government, state government, they need to get certified. They need to kind of navigate that type of work. We have experts that can help with that. We have an international trade office. We focus more on exporting, but if any of our clients want to work outside of the U.S., we have some help with that as well. Slide, please. These are some of the community initiatives that my office has been involved in. Childcare, everyone knows there's a shortage in childcare slots for people, so it's a huge workforce issue. So we've worked with different partners, the chamber, the IDA, tons of partnerships, childcare council. That's something that we've done. That initial program kind of ended, but we're trying to revamp that and do different things so we can help increase that. We have a focus on veterans and kind of rural businesses as well. I ran some quick numbers since we've been in at City Canton since '98 when we opened our center. This is some of the funding to date. Whenever we work with a business, this is how we stay funded. Tell the state and federal government to keep funding their program, is they like to see how much dollars are invested in the community, how many jobs are created and saved. The numbers are actually a lot higher, but these are the numbers that our clients are willing to verify and give us attribution for our assistance helping them. So a lot of businesses, a lot of jobs, 276 million in economic impact. Really, I just wanted to kind of share our mission and vision. The SBDC is here to help all aspects of the business. We want to help anyone that's looking into starting a business to make sure it's feasible. A lot of the businesses that we work with, or a lot of the people that we work with, have an idea, and maybe the timing's not right, or maybe it's not the right idea for them. So, talk a lot of people out of going into business. And I say that because a lot of times they come back at a different time. The situation's different. They're in a better position to be successful. But we've worked a lot with existing businesses, more so since COVID. That's a really important area. Business owners have so much to deal with, the limited time. So it's difficult for them to get to our office at City Canton. So it'll be nice to be able to have space here in Ogdensburg that we can meet with clients, so they don't have to go all the way to Canton. Because I know that's an issue, leaving their business. Or if they want us to meet with them at their business, we're more than happy to do that. Some of the things that we were kind of talking about with Tyler coming up with this more formal MOU is we really want to raise awareness for the services that the SBDC offers. Mentioned, we increased our capacity a lot last few months. So we've got more business advisors that are able to come out here and able to spend time kind of with anyone that is interested in starting or growing, or they're in business and they need some assistance. We've had, like I mentioned, we've had a partnership in the past. We've worked with the economic developers here. We've worked with the city managers before, but we've never had kind of a set program. And what we kind of anticipate is I think it's important for us to be in the community. So we're going to come out here twice a month on a certain day. I think we've done this in the past in other counties or other cities where people know that we're going to be in Ogdensburg whatever day we decide on. Every, the second and fourth Tuesday, for example, of the month. People get used to that, and we can build more activity. When we've done this in the past, we've done that where we might have one appointment a day. But as kind of consistency comes by and we're here more often, we'll fill the day up. Michelle from my office has been doing that at Aquasasi for years. Same thing happened. She started, she filled her, she'd have one appointment. Now she could go 2-3 days a week if she had the time to do that. So I think it'll increase activity. I think it'll be good for people. It'll make it more convenient, especially for the existing businesses to know that we're here. And we really want to increase the economic impacts. We want to see more businesses start, more dollars invested, more jobs created, more jobs saved. What the plan is. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of who the SBDC is. You say we're one of the greatest secrets in New York State, but we're an organization that's here to help. It's free, it's confidential, and look forward to see where this goes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Any questions? Please, any questions or comments from council?
Yes. Are you going to have an office space here?
Yep. In the economic development office, we're in space. I talked to Tyler about that to make sure that everything's confidential. People get nervous talking about their businesses if there's not a confidential space, but we have space there.
Sure. A link on our website?
I don't think we're on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ought to get you one. Anything and everything we can do to get businesses started up. What about grants and grant writing? Do you at least focus people in the right direction, or?
You
I
know,
would
before
imagine-
COVID, people were coming for grants, and I always said there's no grants. That changed with the disaster loans and those type of programs. There really aren't a whole lot of grants. We search for them. There's private foundation grants. They're tough to get. They're very competitive, and they're always on some type of cycle where, you know, we might find it October 1st and the deadline was September 30th, so you have to wait another year. So we will have clients look for grants, but a lot of what we do when we help businesses with funding is more low interest rate loans. And bank finance, the partnership between the bank and all the different, like the loans that are out there. Okay. But we can't help with that if we can find a grant.
Well, I think being in Tyler's office too, kind of near the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe, some of our own grant writings.
Yeah.
That's all for me there.
Okay. You mentioned there was 20 agencies throughout the state?
Yeah, 20 regional centers. There was 24. Watertown, the JCC is now an outreach of Syracuse. Plattsburgh was our original SBDC office in the state. They opened up in '84. Before COVID, they decided to drop the program. So luckily for me, President of SUNY Can was very focused on economic development, and he took over that responsibility. So
We had filtered down into the valley and started at Southtown, 87.
Yeah.
Nice. With being federally and state funded, do you have any concerns coming up with budget seasons coming up?
I always do.
Yeah.
This year's no different. Yeah, I mean, it's been an issue since I started in '98. You have to work, and it's matching funds.
Right.
So if we get cut $1 on the state, we could potentially get cut on the federal side. But that also sometimes helps because the state doesn't like to see federal dollars go to other states. If we can't match it, the money that was allocated to New York will go somewhere else. So no, I'm not really answering your question, but I am always concerned. I've always been concerned, but I don't think it's any different now than years ago. It's always an issue for us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Dale, thank you for your presentation, combined with Tyler's presentation tonight. I think this is going to be an important partnership for our community. And I know that in talking to the business owners who've spoken to me since Tyler came on board, they've been speaking about his energy level, the excitement he brings to the position, and the fact that he's looking for supporting resources such as the DC. I think is welcome news to the community.
Yeah, we're really excited.
Thank you.
We're really excited for this partnership. I think it's going to accomplish a lot. Thank you.
Thanks. Our next presentation tonight is from City Assessor Lachelle Wilcox regarding senior citizens and disability low-income property tax exemptions.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hear me okay? Floor's here. All right, so as we're totally said, senior citizen and disability low income exemption is what my presentation is about. First slide. Thank you. All right, so residential property owners who qualify for the senior or the disabled and low income program can have their assessment of their primary property, their primary residence decreased by a certain percentage. This reduces the amount of property tax owned by the resident with the balance covered by other taxpayers. The exemption program must be enacted at the local level. The requirements are that the property owner their property must be owned by a person 65 years of age or older, or proof of disability. Income cannot exceed the maximum established by local option. Used exclusively for residential purposes. Primary residence for a minimum of 12 consecutive months. And if, excuse me, if a child resides on the property and attends any public school, no exemption from school taxes may be granted. That's the business for city and county. I just add that. General policy guidance from New York State says that the municipalities may grant up to 50% exemption. They give us two options to do that. One is the sliding scale option, 20%, 10%, 5%. Or we can use a flat exemption with a single income threshold, which that's what we have done. Ownership rules include transfers, life estates, co-ops. Incomes include social security, retirement, pension, etc. Deductions may apply for medical, residential healthcare costs, and an annual application is required. All right, so I looked at the surrounding areas, and this is the combination of the town and village of Canton, Potsdam, and Messina. Combine them. Canton has a sliding scale for the senior exemption of 5%, and their range is a minimum of 20,000 to 28,399. Currently, they have 43 properties that qualify for this exemption. Potsdam, again, town and village, sliding scale 20%, with income 16,000 to 21,699. 52 properties qualify. Messina has a flat income number. Their rate is 29,000, and they have 135 properties that qualify. Under disability, again, Canton, sliding scale. They only have 2 properties that qualify. Potsdam, sliding scale is 5%. They have 13 properties that qualify. And Messina is flat income again at 29,000, and they have additional 49 properties that qualify under that. So here in Ogdensburg, we currently offer the senior exemption, and we have the flat income threshold exemption of 18,000. So this was last updated in 2008, and we have a total of 13 participants for 2025. 13 people that qualify, their properties involved. Recommended change to a sliding scale from the flat threshold, with the minimum being 20,000 at a 50% exemption, down to or up to a maximum of 26,400, in which the property owner would receive a 20% exemption. And I have included that, how that scale looks, how that sliding scale looks here. So just briefly, 0 to 20,000 is 50% off. You're exempt from your assessed value. 25,501 to 26,400 would be an exemption of 20%. And the cost analysis, I'm going to hand over to Rhonda.
Thanks, LaShawn. Appreciate that very much. Under normal circumstances, any policy decision, I would love to be able to give you a pretty solid cost analysis. Unfortunately, with this, it's always a guessing game of how many applicants there will be, how many of those actually qualify. So what we did was we put together a what-if scenario using the sliding scale, and whatever information you see here is certainly qualified. It is not what I would consider excellent cost analysis, just because there's too many question marks, too many what-ifs. So I provided this information for the council as directional information only. I wouldn't base your decision only on this, but it just gives you a little bit of a estimate as to where some of the costs would be. Hopefully it's somewhat helpful for you. What I would really focus on is tax increase on assessed value of $150,000. See the increase to everybody else based on some of those what ifs, as low as 0 if we don't do anything, and as high as maybe $4.85 based on this scenario. The mayor did provide some analysis and stole what I could from it and added some more to it, and this is kind of again, directional only, not absolute numbers. I have to feel the need to qualify that. But I wanted to give council something on paper as far as what costs would look like given circumstances.
All right, and the disability low income is currently not offered in Ogdensburg at all. So the recommended change here is to adopt the sliding scale exemption program, excuse me, of the 5% with a minimum of 10,000 and a maximum of 18.4. And again, that's been provided. I've provided that scale there for you. And again, basic same thing, 0 to 10,000, 50% exemption. We get to the 18.4, we're at a 5% exemption rate. And again, next slide, please. I will hand this again over to Anna.
Yeah, same disclosure. Can't underline it enough times. Again, try to get something down on, try to get something directional for council. Given the experience of the scene with a higher count of properties, we recognize that here, so you can see that the numbers are a little bit higher than for the scene. But again, directional only, but it kind of gives you an idea of where these cost shifts could land.
All right, with that, any questions, comments? Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your analysis that you sent. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Michelle. Just some background. Over a year ago, I was contacted by a senior citizen about concerns about the fact that for the senior citizen tax exemption, that there had been no increase in the limit on income for a long period of time. Didn't know since it was a year, and asked if we could look into it. So that prompted the inquiry. I posed to staff, and it was just noted, did some my own calculations, whatever. Again, recognizing and emphasizing, until it's in play, you don't know what the number's going to be, how many people might qualify. So in the analysis, it's like, so if it doubled, here's the impact that it been tripled. Okay. Just a comment about the ranges in the sliding scale. I mean, those are dictated by state Department of Tax law. Okay, they give you 3 different options for sliding scales. The 20% scale is considered the highest amount of exemption that can be provided. So, and the dollar amounts, when I looked at all municipalities in the county who offer the senior citizen tax exemption, this is sort of like the mid all entities, not just the 2 or 3 communities that were listed in the presentation. So with that, I will entertain question or comment from council.
Michelle, are these income figures total household income?
Yes,
It speaks very poorly of our society that we have citizens that are attempting to live on $20,000 a year.
yes.
Nothing you or I can do about that,
Absolutely,
but it doesn't say much for our society as a whole.
absolutely agree.
So we're looking at total, if we did the disability low income and the senior, we'd be looking at no worse than, like, in our projection. I know these are projected, $18 and would be a low of $9.
Right.
About what we're anticipating to get this.
Yeah, I think the point, showing the specific amount, but the point is, personally, I don't think it's a significant amount for other taxpayers to absorb.
And that's what I was looking at. It's an impact with our taking care of our neighbors, right?
Right.
Something we all might do there. The other question I would have, so when the income qualified, does that take into account any income from investments, things like that? Is it, or how is that, how detailed is that income qualification?
Well, if they file taxes, it is their federally adjusted gross income is what we go by. Most of the seniors that obviously that are in this income guideline are Social Security, and typically they bring in whatever Social Security says this is the amount you're going to get for the year. So, but we do have, there are different things that they add into. Investments would probably be something, if they were getting returns, then yes, it would count. We also have things that we deduct. So if it's a spouse, a husband and wife situation, and the husband is in rehab for 6 months for a hip replacement, that income for 6 months is deducted because it goes towards the rehab. So yeah, it does. It gets a little convoluted, but we try to keep it as simple as we can. You know, I've gone to seniors' homes to pick up the application and, you know, it is a vulnerable population and I hope to be, you know, that person.
I understand completely. I see it too.
Thank you.
Is, for the tax increase on a $150,000 home, is that per thousand or is that
That would be the all-in dollars
$2.42 for that one?
in that specific.
Per, okay.
Because it's important for people to understand that this is a cost shift from one to the other. Council will determine if it's budgets, what the levy is, and how that levy is distributed. It's based on the assessment. Okay.
So basically, the tax rate goes up a penny.
If it's double, 2 pennies, if it's triple.
Not per thousand. No, per house. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say.
But it's
Right, okay. I
very
got you.
modest.
Yeah,
And just to know, in receiving the information that I received from the county, while there are several jurisdictions that provide the senior citizens exemption, there were, I think, 8 municipalities in St. Lawrence County who currently offer the disability exemption. And I just thought it was worthwhile to bring it to council's attention in case there was interest in pursuing that.
And we do offer it through the school. The Ogdensburg City School does, but their maximum is 14,000. So I think we have one person who actually qualifies for that exemption through the school.
Any other questions or comments?
I'll say I'll support this. I support it at maximum levels.
I would be inclined to support this as well. I need some more investigation about the budget things. I can't tell you the number of times I sit with people and they can't stay in the home they've had 40 years because they can't afford the taxes anymore because it's dropped so much. They can't pay for it. And I think this is a good program.
What's the deadline to adopt change to our current policy?
If it goes along the same lines as 2025, I would say we have to have that in by February. Obviously, sooner is better rather than later, but I think it was like February 25th of this year that we have, if we had made any changes or adopted anything, we would have to have it to the county.
So I might suggest, based on the comments made, that the council might wait until the 2026 budget is adopted, and maybe we take this up in December for possible action and to begin in 2026.
I would be interested in one question, some additional information, because we can't forecast this, right? We know it's important, we know it's needed. Have the other municipalities started with the one exemption, the senior citizen tax exemption, and then added like the next year, added the other one so they could manage what that impact is? It doesn't seem like it's huge, but you just never know.
Right, I don't know the answer to that, but I can absolutely look into it for you, yes.
All right, thank you.
Would it be wise to do this during or the budget process? Adopt something like this so that we better handle on the budget?
Well, the thing is, we still won't know until we have the actual figures what the actual adjustment of the tax rate would be.
Right.
So I don't know that there's much to be gained by the fact before, but I would have an objection to yes.
Sure, so any adjustments that are going to be made are going to be 2027 taxes. Right, 2026
Sure.
taxes are already where the final roll is done, all the exemptions are covered. I guess I could walk that back and say any work that we do in 2026, let's start after the school.
Right,
2026, 2027 taxes. So I don't think there's any advantage to that.
Okay.
Process.
Thank you for clarifying.
And the school is on board, they have a policy for this,
Yes,
unless
Ogdensburg,
you have a student in residence.
Right, right. And Ogdensburg School District does have, and like I said, I think it's, the maximum is either 14 or 14,999. And like I said, we do have one person who qualifies for that, and that's for school taxes only.
Okay. Thank you for your work and for your presentation.
Thank you.
We do not have any public hearings tonight, so it brings us to personal appearance. At this time, if anyone attending in person would like to address council, please come down to the podium and you will have 5 minutes. Now, if anyone attending remotely would like to address council, please use the raise hand feature. The city clerk will recognize and unmute one person at a time, and you will have 5 minutes.
Sorry, Mayor, I was catching up. on the screen. I do not see any hands raised.
That brings us to correspondence, and we have one letter tonight.
Yes. Mayor and council, the Lions Club and Seaway Festival special events are hereby requesting approval to host the annual Holiday Light Up the Night Parade on State Street in Ogdensburg and the Visits with Santa at the Davisky Center on November 22nd, 2025. We will be ending the night with fireworks on the city property at Lighthouse Point. The support of the city of Ogdensburg is crucial to the success of this very popular event that kicks off the holidays in the city. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, Rhonda Rothel, Chairperson.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda that the claims as enumerated in general fund warrant number 18-2025 in the amount of $629,078.33 and library warrant 18-2025 in the amount of $0. Capital fund warrant 18-2025 in the amount of $67,130.54. And community development fund warrant number 18-2025 in the amount of $0. And community renewal fund warrant number 18-2025 in the amount of $0 as audited be in the same tier by our ordered paid. I so move.
Second.
Kathy, please call the roll.
Mayor Tulley, Counselor Selly,
Yes.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
approved.
We do not have any appointments tonight, so that brings us to items for council action. Our first item of business will be read by City Manager Fonda Combs.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A resolution calling for a public hearing and public notice on a proposed ordinance to amend chapter 221 entitled zoning, section 221-8 entitled zone map parcel number 48.078-9-3 and 48.071-4-27.2 to zone from adaptive reuse to residential commercial mixed use.
We'll move that.
Second.
Any questions?
This is strictly for that one parcel, right?
It's actually 2 parcels with the one combined building on it. It's the United Healthcare building.
Yeah, the old guy that helped.
Yeah.
That's just for that side of the block, just that area.
Yeah, that is correct. Those 2 parcels are zoned.
Any other questions? No.
Could we just get a little background on why this is needed and what the
Sure.
differences between the two?
Well, adaptive reuse gives us a lot of ability to attract developers because there aren't any specific uses. So what we do is we say adaptive reuse, come in with your use, talk to the management team for folks in the planning office, and then let's discuss what your use is. The use from a potential developer here coincides with the use of all of the commercial properties around those 2. So it makes sense to send this to the planning board to ask them to consider changing the adaptive reuse to.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So this is going to require approval by both the Ogdensburg and the county zoning boards.
County zoning board does not.
Kathy, please call the roll.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
Mayor Tulley,
Yes.
Counselor Selly,
Yes.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
approved.
Our next item of business will be read by City Manager Fonda Combs.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the North Country Small Business Development Center at SUNY.
I'll make that. Second.
Any discussion? Kathy, please call the roll.
Mayor Tulley,
Yes.
Counselor Selly,
Yes.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
approved.
Our next item of business will be read by City Manager Fonda Cronis.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a NYSDOT application for the use of state highway / NYSDOT property to allow the 2025 holiday light up the night parade designated as the 360.
I'll move that.
Second.
Questions or comments? Kathy, please call the roll.
Counselor Selly,
Yes.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
Mayor Tulley,
Yes.
approved.
Our next item of business will be read by City Manager Fonda Cronis.
A resolution declaring Ogdensburg City Council lead agency for Ace Hardware renovations project and issue a declaration of unlisted action.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Questions or comments? No background.
Sure. The city received restored funding for this project. Any restored projects that are for the private sector come through the city. As such, it becomes a public project, must go through seeker. These folks are just about ready to break ground, so it makes sense that we take care of the seeker on this. There are no adverse effects environmentally. Unlisted is the least restrictive.
Thank you. Kathy, please call the roll.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
Mayor Tulley,
Yes.
Counselor Selly,
Yes.
approved.
Our next item of business will be read by City Manager Fonda Cronis.
A resolution declaring Ogdensburg City Council lead agency for small city brewing project and issue a declaration of unlisted action.
Yeah.
Second.
Very similar situation.
Same explanation.
Kathy, please call the roll.
Counselor Scamperly,
Yes.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yes.
Counselor Tebow,
Yes.
Mayor Tulley,
Yes.
Counselor Selly,
Yes.
Counselor Powers,
Yes.
approved.
Brings us to old businesses. Everyone have any old businesses?
Maybe when I.
Yes, please.
So a few months ago, we had John Demars came and spoke to us about the monument for Global Terror, on Global Terror. And I just wanted to say thank you to John Tebow and to, I'm sorry, John, my apologies. And my thanks to John Demars and Brandon Mitchell for following through on that. They've worked on this quite a number of years, and that project is complete with no expense to the city, and it looks wonderful. I stopped down and looked at it the other day, and I just want to thank them both for all their hard work to honor our veterans.
Thank you for sharing. Any other old business? Brings us to new business. Does anyone have any new business this evening? Brings us to items for discussion, and we'll begin with City Manager Fonda Cronis.
Budget time. And working diligently with the management team to put together the recommended budget, which you'll have in your hands early October. I will do a presentation at the council meeting on October 14th. A preliminary budget is due from council on the 31st. So sometime between October 14th and most likely the 31st of October. Should the council want to have budget workshops, that would be the timeframe that we will think about scheduling them. So I thought we would talk about that, maybe set some dates on the calendar. It would be here before we know it. And a date for us to talk about this that night.
Any suggestions?
So we're talking from the 14th to the 31st?
15th, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm wide open except for Halloween. We get a few kids at our house.
And I'll be here where you plan to tell me to be here, so. Nothing to worry about.
Again, I'll take a selfish step and work with dates that work best for me. We're looking at 3 sessions. I'll offer October 15th, Wednesday, October 20th, Monday, October 21st, Tuesday. You get 3 sessions last year.
Yeah, and my recommendations, 3 sessions. Yeah.
The 20th and what?
21st, Tuesday, the 21st.
I'm busy on the 20th.
Yes.
I'm busy on the 20th and the 16th. Other than that, any night's good.
Meets 15th.
All right, how about the 16th?
16th, 14th doesn't work. After the meeting,
If you wanted to do it after the meeting,
is there a quick,
I wouldn't think that. you
Yeah,
want to
that's,
do that.
okay, if it's a big meeting. Yeah,
so the 20th was a no-go.
I can't be there on the 20th, if everybody else is available.
21st is good for everyone? No?
16.
Well, I mean, we could go into last week, October, but then we need a special meeting to adapt to.
22nd, that's good.
Yeah, well, 22nd is the annual dinner from the Chamber of Commerce at Grandview. So that's.
You could always do it.
Uh, 16th is gonna be.
21st earlier. I really won't have a problem on the 16th. I might be able to, I could probably will change that obligation that night.
Yeah, I can do the 16th.
So we'll pencil in the 16th at 6 p.m. So we have no on the 20th and the 21st.
Is there anything, well, the 20th, I can't do it earlier.
What do you think?
I could, at 4 o'clock, I'd probably be here by 4.
20th at 4.
I would not be able to be here until closer to 6 on the 20th. I have a doctor's appointment.
On the 20th, I'd have to be done by 6:30.
6, anytime on that Monday is.
Well, we have a time for it. Could we be earlier on the 22nd at 4 o'clock? Before we leave?
Yeah, I could do
4
that.
o'clock.
4 o'clock on Wednesday, the 22nd?
You know what time the dinner is?
Could we start the 16th earlier and get more done on that session?
That's
Make it a
also
later
preference.
session for the 22nd?
Double up.
Double up.
So you're gonna go at 4 o'clock on the 16th and do a double session, let's say. So we only have 2 sessions instead of 3.
That's what-
Good. All right, so 4
4
p.m.,
o'clock.
4 p.m. on the 16th, and 4 p.m. on the 22nd. Okay, well, good with that.
Appreciate it very much.
All right, any other items for discussion? I just have one, that is the announcement recently in the media that the Ogdensburg History Museum is now having extended hours, Monday from 10 to 12, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 to 1, and Sundays from 11 to 1, taking advantage of the nature and supporting their efforts. So just want to let the community know that, expanded hours, 206 4th Street, Ogdensburg History. That brings us to citizen participation. At this time, if anyone attending in person would like to address council, please come down to the podium. We will have 2 minutes. If anyone attending remotely would like to address council, please use the raise hand feature. The city clerk will recognize and unmute 1 person at a time, and we will have 2 minutes.
I do not see any hands raised, Mayor.
We do not have need for an executive session tonight, so I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.